name one, I really like the brutal melee system, which is something new. But I think the bigger theme is that there's a lot of variety. There's a lot of different play experiences in the game. So in this level we've got on show today, there's already 4 different kind of experiences that you'll have. So you start off on this intruder where you're flying, and that's something that we did in Killzone 2, except we never let you actually fire from that intruder. So this time around you got this big gun and you're actually able to fire down. That's a new, different experience, and that's something that I really like, to do a lot of damage and get those big things collapsing. So that's really cool. And then you take it towards the more standard combat, where you have your rifle and you kind of engage the normal enemies, and you have the option to do the brutal melee and all those kind of things. And then you encounter the jetpack enemies, and you're able to take one of their jetpacks from them. And again, that's a whole new different experience, because all of a sudden you're able to reach a lot of different areas that otherwise you wouldn't be able to reach.
You can strive with the jetpack.
Exactly, you can jump on things, you can have different routes, you can actually just jump over enemies and engage them from above. So it's a whole new different experience. And then towards the end of the level, there's a new experience again, where you get this big rocket launcher that fires multiple missiles. So it's a big portable weapon of mass destruction, we call it. It's kind of just massive amount of damage, and that's just really nice. So I think that level of variety, just in one level, and that's going to carry across the game. So to highlight kind of one single feature, I think is very difficult for me. The melee system, what it does is it scans the environment. It looks at where the player is and where the enemy is. So whatever angle that you're coming from, it looks what's there in the environment. So if there's a wall close by, it'll trigger a different animation. If there's like a railing nearby, it'll do something different. So there's a whole host of different animations based on the weapon that I have and based on how I'm approaching the enemy and what's in the environment. It'll do something different every time, and it's. Right now we're going through kind of motion capture, making sure that we get a lot of different ones.
You killed a lot of people.
We've certainly killed a lot of people. I think well, the biggest stumbling block for us always is our own ambition. Is kind of the things that we say to ourselves, well, we really like Killzone 2, and then along came Uncharted 2 and God of War. It's kind of, yeah, that looks really, really good, and we love those guys, but we gotta do better. So now we've got this level that's 10 times bigger, but it has to have the same amount of detail, and that's a challenge. It's not so much the technical work; it's more kind of what do we want to achieve. So it's we wanted to make a bigger game, basically, bigger scope, and that puts us into problems, basically. The game will be exactly the same, but the added benefit of 3D is that you feel that you're part of the action a lot more, because you get drawn inside this world. You can see the environment a lot better, the enemies, everything just feels a lot more like you can actually touch it. That's the thing that 3D does, obviously. Absolutely, it certainly adds something to the whole experience. I think that the game, obviously, I mean, first and foremost, it's got to be a good game. And then if you put 3D on top of that, it's only going to make kind of the experience better. We can't go into too much detail.
Okay.
We don't have a specific release date, we can't talk about that yet, but it will be 2011.